tifu by ruining my ability to taste. I am one of the thousands of people who are quarantining because I was exposed. My roommate has tested positive and I am completely asymptomatic. I decided it was best to quarantine in my room on the off chance I am magically haven't caught it from my roommate. So for now I am watching for any signs or symptoms, but I have not exhibited any. Today I decided I wanted some tea. So I walked to the kitchen, boiled some water, and poured it into my hydro flask so I didn't have to go out to the kitchen as often to get hot water. For those of you who don't know, a hydro flask is a very insulated water bottle for hot drinks. I threw some tea bags into it and went back to my room. I placed it next to my bed and watched Netflix, but I fell asleep for a few hours. When I woke up I grabbed the hydro flask and took a big gulp. This was my beep up. I effectively burned my entire mouth. Set now I am trying to eat dinner but I can't taste anything. Not because of COVID but because I'm a beeping idiot. TLDR. I'm quarantining and watching for symptoms. I made tea and put it in my hydro flask, and when I woke up from a nap it was still boiling hot and I burned my entire mouth. Now I can't taste because I'm stupid. Update. I just want to say thank you for the comments because it makes me feel less lonely while I sit in my room with a sandpapery tongue. Perfect description from a fellow Redditor. This is actually why I have never used my hydro flask for anything but cold drinks. LOL, sorry buddy. I once put my hydro flask in the refrigerator with warm water. Got back home and it was still lukewarm. This is the best ad for hydro flask I've ever seen. LOL. GD. That's impressive. I once drove 300 kilometers using a thermal cup for my tea. Sent a picture to my dad, and wrote that it's not an advert for the cup, but my tea is still hot. He wrote back, no. It's an advert for the car. I remember being a kid, and my mum driving from Sydney to Melbourne, a 10-hour drive non-stop, then on an overnight boat to Hobart. When we got off the boat the next morning, a full 24 hours later, the remaining half of my mum's 1-liter thermo flask of coffee was still warm enough to drink. She was very happy. My wife and I did a road trip around Tasmania a few years ago. Each morning we filled our thermos to take hot water in case we wanted a hot drink. But one day we forgot. Mid-afternoon. Freezing cold. We're open it up from the day before, and it was still perfectly hot enough for hot chocolates. I was stunned it worked so well. It took you more than a day to road trip Tasa? I'm impressed. All jokes aside, it's a gloriously beautiful slice of the world. Even if it does only get above 23 for about 6 days of the year. West Coast is a bit different to East. I think that day we drove Hobart to Gordon Dam where we had our hot chocolates. Then back to Russell Falls. Oh, the Gordon Dam is gorgeous. There's some absolutely stunning views on hikes around it. I have been meaning to go back and do a proper look around now that I'm an adult. I was born down in Tassie and have visited relatives many times since I left when I was a child, but it would be entirely different to do it as an adult, and there's so much to see. You're all making me jealous. I'd love to go to Tassie, but I've just never had the chance. We don't have family there, so we've never had a reason to go. What kind of tea was it? Green tea with orange honey, if you must know. Good choice. Just wanted to make sure you hadn't lost your sense of taste already. I don't know, man. That's just not my cup of tea. Jesus. No. I'm Buddha. Jesus is the one in sandals, who smells of patchouli oil. Sorry about your painful beverage experience. I guarantee you will not repeat this mistake. You overestimate my intelligence. This is the second time. The first time happened when I first got it. I completely forgot because I haven't used it in about a year because I never leave my house anymore. A year seems like a short time to forget, lol. I burned my mouth as a kid when I used a thermos for the first time. Never expected them to keep liquid hot for so long, and I have been careful since then. I wish your mouth a speedy recovery. A year seems like a short time to forget, lol. Have you even seen 2020? It's been more than a decade since 2019. Dude. Just wanted to leave a note here to affirm your decision to limit contact with your roommate. Viral dose and viral load are huge factors in how sick you get. So even if you've already caught it, limiting exposure could make the difference between a mild case and a severe one. Your roommate should be masking in common areas if they can. Stay safe. Just want to say being careful works. I caught Rona back in October and had to quarantine, but I had a roommate that had to quarantine with me. Stayed in my room. Used a mask whenever I went to the common areas. Bleached the sink every time I used it to brush my teeth. And let the bathroom ventilate for 30 minutes after my showers. He ended up not getting it despite how small the apartment is. Somehow I imagined a mouse saying this. However, mice do not get COVID. Further assessment finally led me to conclude that you are a mink. I supposed it should have been obvious. Mice would write even smaller. Maybe I'm a toad. Wait. Can toads get COVID? I'm pretty sure they can't. Now I'm scared. I guarantee you won't do that again. I can't believe it was the second time I've done this. You've got to be speaking me with these puns. So it really sucks about your sense of taste. But reading this gave me so much hope from hearing that others are quarantining / monitoring symptoms / being smart. I hope that your tongue heals soon. A little honey might tone down the pain on your tongue. Thank you. I try to keep in mind that we only see the people who aren't being careful. The people who are being safe are simply out of sight, but they're still there. Fortunately my tongue doesn't hurt too bad. I just think the top layer is dead, so it's just numbish. Nothing too bad. I've burned my mouth worse on hot pizza and being too impatient / high to wait for it to cool down. I think I see a pattern here, haha. I'm a baby about heat, so I'm usually pretty good about not burning myself. The first time I got high I messed up. How much is it even possible to not get too high your first time? And when I woke up my whole head felt all cottony. Had some water and woke up a little more and felt mostly normal. A little later I got breakfast and asked my partner why my tongue was all messed up. Asked if dry mouth could break your tongue. They laughed for a solid minute before getting enough air to tell me that I got a little too hyped about food and asked for all sorts of random things. Out of the 3 or 4 meals I had about 4 bites of. I wouldn't wait for a single one of them to cool. They would hand me a plate. I'd take a giant bite and go, out too hot. Wave air over it for 2 seconds and try again. I'd eat 3 or 4 burning bites. Say it tasted funny. I'm betting that funny taste was cooked tongue flesh. And beg for the next thing. All the while they, an experienced stoner, are laughing their ass off and humoring me and making more food so I could try all the new flavors. Thankfully the mouth has the ability to repair itself quickly, but for the meantime it has to hurt and suck. Fortunately it's just sandpapery and no pain other than when I continue to drink hot things, because I clearly don't learn. That's probably because the nerves are dead too. Self-burn. Those are rare. Yup. Bona fide foo. Hope you don't get the real Rona. Plot twist. He burned his mouth, but the lack of taste was due to COVID. Couldn't taste the tea. But now we'll never know. Glad you're taking COVID seriously. But rip burnt taste buds. You can still smell things, right? Yeah, I check every morning and smell the coffee beans. So far I'm okay. I woke up this morning with a raging headache, so I just sleep as much as possible, but it's gone away. Sorry you burnt your taste buds, bud. Keep quarantining until you're sure. Stay well. Yeah. This is an ad for Hydro Flask. I wish. I should email Hydro Flask and ask for a cut of the profits and compensation for my poor sandpaper tongue. Hydro Flask could totally use this story as a selling point. LOL. Keeps your speep so hot you'll scald your mouth after a nap? Honestly, it's got me interested. It's really not worth the price compared to many other insulated water bottle manufacturers. They're capitalizing on the fad. I've seen 20 ounces Hydro Flask water bottles go for $50 in some stores. Which is absurd. Similar experience but with cheese. I need you to elaborate. Clearly they put steaming hot cheese in their Hydro Flask and then forgot and drank it. Oh my god. I've done the exact same thing. Poured boiling hot green tea from a thermos straight into my mouth because it had been sitting out for hours. Probably one of my worst experiences ever. It took weeks for that sandpaper feeling in my tongue to go away. Suck on a spoon of sugar or honey, it helps the cells heal. I used to eat a lot of sour sweets. Toxic waste cause, quite frankly the flavors were really nice. After going through quite a lot over a 2-day period, I damaged the skin on my tongue and couldn't really taste anything. The skin simply fell off my tongue. No blood or anything. I haven't eaten anything even remotely sour since and still can't taste properly. That was about 2 years ago. You steeped green tea for hours? Doesn't it taste bitter? Well, at least when you had functioning taste buds to you. Honestly, I'm not a huge tea person and I'm lazy. Generally the honey keeps it from being too bitter, but now I have no idea because I can't taste it, haha. The worst burn in my mouth I ever got was from hot steaming potatoes. A few layers of skin came off half of the roof of my mouth. Once I got high and was too impatient about eating the pizza. I was so high I couldn't tell I was burning my mouth because it tasted so good. I had a dentist appointment the next day and he was genuinely concerned. I was high too and couldn't really feel it as much as I would have if sober. I only realized I was quite injured when I went to get a second bowl. So impatient. I paid for it for about a week. Why pay for advertising when you can just post to Reddit for free? I know it must be impossible. But it seems like hot water/tea gets even hotter in those things. Ouch. It's called a thermos. Been around since the 50s. Why are we acting like this is a new thing? Spoonful of sugar tends to fix tongue burns. I have no peeping idea why. But it does. I thought that was for making the medicine go down. This is why I drink iced tea. I heard pouring a teaspoon of sugar on your tongue helps it heal quicker. Where? On your tongue. One of my favorite restaurants from the before times has in-house smoothies. Half are cold, half are hot. They pour them into glass containers and are often served before the meal. The glass doesn't heat up much before they give it to you. So it feels comfortably warm and drinkably perfect. Inside, it's lava and I burned my tongue several times. Just before eating an expensive meal at my favorite restaurant. I recommend stocking up on Mucinex if possible. I got the Rona in September and Mucinex was my best friend for a week and a half. Sad. I've done the same thing with my Clean Canteen and Hydro Flask. I just stick to designated cold or hot bottles now. Clean canteen is only for hot coffee/tea/cocoa/soup. Hydro flask is for ice water or margaritas. Ugh. Went to a diner when I was like 5 and the waitress gave me hot cocoa with a straw. Hot cocoa. Effectively did the same thing to me. Couldn't taste speep for a while. As long as you can still smell, there's a chance. However, the loss of smell and/or taste happens 3 to 4 days after contracting the virus. So if you start feeling rather speepty, weak, dizzy, etc., go get tested. Also, the mouth heals fairly quickly. Get some Orajel mouthwash and it'll heal faster.